I had a really bad fall to a point where my lower right incisor, the first one, came out completely.
Okay.
And after that, that really complicated my orthodontic treatment. So
Yeah.
I'd go into different orthodontists, or even like the same one, the one who finally accepted me. I'd go in and I think, yeah, they're going to tell me I'm going to get braces this time. And they didn't for a very long time. And that sort of had a really bad implication on my mental health. And then when I finally found the orthodontist, it was like, yep, next time you come in, you're going to get braces. I was so happy. And still, I mean, I had my appointment the other day. I saw her and I was like, you're the reason I went into dentistry. So I
Yeah.
do owe a lot of it to her. And if she's watching this, thank you so much.
And today we've got Punya, who's with us. She's in Sheffield Dental School, and she's just started first year. So we'll be getting insight into what it's like actually starting dental school after going through that whole process of applying and interviews. So welcome, Punya. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So Punya, as always, tell us, why did you want to become a dentist?
So my journey was kind of awkward. My sister is a medic right now, and my parents were like, yeah, she's going to be a medic. She's going to go into healthcare.
Yeah.
And at one point I was so fed up of it. I was like, I'm never going into healthcare. It's never going to be a choice.
Yeah.
And then in, I think it was 2013, I had a really bad fall to a point where my lower right incisor, the first one, came out completely.
Okay.
And after that, that really complicated my orthodontic treatment. So
Yeah.
I'd go into different orthodontists, or even like the same one, the one who finally accepted me. I'd go in and I think, yeah, they're going to tell me I'm going to get braces this time. And they didn't for a very long time. And that sort of had a really bad implication on my mental health. And then when I finally found the orthodontist, it was like, yep, next time you come in, you're going to get braces. I was so happy. And still, I mean, I had my appointment the other day. I saw her and I was like, you're the reason I went into dentistry. Yeah. So I do owe a lot of it to her. And if she's watching this, thank you so much. But yeah, I'd say she was the reason that she sort of inspired me to sort of deliver that level of care to my patients.
So how old were you around that time you had that trauma?
I was 11 or 12, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
So from there, did you pretty much just tailor your subjects when you got into GCSEs and A-levels towards dentistry?
Well, I usually enjoyed my sciences anyway. So I knew I was going to pick triple science. I knew I would do science at A-level. Yeah. But it sort of just worked out that I wanted to go into dentistry, and I enjoyed chemistry and biology anyway. So it helps.
Yeah. And how did you find the actual application process? How was it for you?
We actually got quite a bit of help from our school. So the careers officer, she helped us out quite a bit in terms of the fact that, you know, we had a lot of seminars, a lot of like videos and stuff that they sent to us saying, this is how you apply. Sheffield Dental School, they actually came in to help us with a bit of interview prep, and they did a lot of sort of seminars as well in terms of the application process. So we got a bit of help from that. It was a bit scary, especially the personal statement. In terms of word count, because word count is different on Word and actually on UCAS. Yeah. So that was probably the scariest part of the application.
Yeah. And once you'd sent it through into UCAS, waiting. So right now, people are waiting for responses. Yeah. What was that like, and how long did it take for you to start getting responses?
Oh, it was quite daunting. I think the first response I got was from Uni of Manchester offering me an interview, and that was around December time. So I was really happy. I think Manchester, I did like the dental school. So I was really happy that I'd got an interview. Sheffield was always my first choice. So, and they were the last people to send me an interview.
Okay.
So I was very scared throughout that process. I think I got my Sheffield interview around the end of Jan. Yeah. And my Liverpool one at the same time as well. So I did my interview. I think Manchester was my first one. That was MMI. Yeah. So that was quite nice. Sheffield was the only one who did panel. Okay. So that was really scary to some extent. But yeah, the waiting process, it's different for each dental school, because I knew people that had applied to, I think, Plymouth and Newcastle that sent their interviews quite early. Like I knew people that had done their interviews while I was still waiting for an email for mine. Okay. So I think that makes the process scarier.
Talk to the people right now that are waiting. Every day they're checking the inbox, waiting for an invitation. You know, how do you handle that? How do you manage that? Especially if you're going to be called up in December.
Yeah, I think what I did was I put my notifications on for my like main email that I've applied with, and I sort of just left it. I said I won't go check it every day, because when I go check my emails every day, I sit there and I scroll through and I just keep refreshing it, and it takes a lot of time out, and it's time you could technically spend doing something a little bit more valuable, especially with this year's applicants. I know, especially the year 13s, you've got a lot to do now in terms of catching up, and you've still got exams, and I know it's scary, but it's about managing your time. So yeah, you do have a little bit of time to, look through it and sort of help yourself, and just make sure you're not anxious about it, but keep your notifications on. When you see it pop up, you'll see it. Keep your hopes up. Hopefully their applications are strong. I just think don't dwell on it too much, because a lot of dental schools do take the time, because they've got a lot of applications to look through. And they compare them sort of holistically, so it's not just like grades and your UCAT results. They read through every single person's statement, they dissect every single person's statement, so it does take time. And I think it's scary, but it will be worth it.
And at what point did you start preparing for interviews? Was it when you heard that you've now got an interview that you started to prepare? How did you manage that?
So I started preparing around December time. So there's a lot of online courses for interviews in terms of what you need to know. My sister's also a medic, so she helped me out a bit in terms of the fact that, like, you're going to need to know certain things, like certain ethical processes and stuff. So I think that, but there is a really nice course online where it just takes you through the dental interviews, and it's more about knowing what you'll be going into as a professional. So I think reading stuff, like I read the Student BDJ quite a lot. That sort of helped me out. And just reading articles online would help you out in terms of the fact that it tells you what being a dental professional is like. And that's sort of what your interviews test, and how good of a dental professional you'll actually be.
Yeah. And then you had the experience of the traditional panel and the MMI.
Yeah.
So tell us what was different for you when you went to Sheffield with the panel. And was it Liverpool and
Manchester
for the MMIs? How was that different for you?
So the MMIs, I think it was a lot less stressful in terms of the fact that if you do mess up one station, it's going to be judged differently, like completely to the next station. But it is quite a lot, because I unfortunately started out on the rest station in Manchester, so I did have 7 stations in a row.
Explain that for people that don't understand what the rest station is.
So Manchester had, I think, 8 stations, and one of them was a rest station. So you do a few and then you have a rest. But I started out on the rest station, which means I went around and did the rest of my interviews without a rest in the middle, which is okay, because, they're not very intense in terms of the fact that they won't quiz you on stuff that they don't expect you to know. It is usually just having a good, like, educated conversation with someone, or whether it's like an acting station. But I think the panel one was more stressful in terms of that I had 3 people sitting in front of me, and it was making sure that I directed my answer not just to the person who asked me, but to all of them, but then putting more emphasis on the person who had asked me.
Yeah. Do you remember who it was in the panel? What was the mix?
Yeah, I think it was 2 professors and 1 dental, like 50 a dental student.
Okay, so the 2 professors, had they practiced dentistry in the past and now they were professors? Or okay, yeah.
I think they were working alongside, but I've watched one of their lectures actually. One of them is a lecturer for first year.
Okay.
But yeah, so they're working alongside the uni and their actual like dental practice as well, I think.
Okay. Now being on the other side, you're now a dental student. What would you say is good for approaching dental schools in interviews? I mean, so what is a good practice, or what are some bad practices that you can have at dental interviews?
I think the main thing is to be confident in yourself, but not cocky. They do understand that you're not a dental professional yet, and they don't expect you to know everything, but they expect you to know sort of the minimum and general ethics that you would as any healthcare professional. Also, don't sort of go in talking about things that you don't know, because I know a lot of people that sort of read up things, and you are talking to a professor about it that has probably done years of research on it. So keep it to a minimum when you're talking about, like, be honest about how much you do know, and don't try and make up an answer. So I think if they ask you like a dental question, don't try and make up an answer, because they do know the correct answer. If you don't know it, just say that you're guessing, say this is your best guess, but be really honest in your interview. Don't lie, because you will get caught out, I think.
Yeah. And now that you've actually started at Sheffield, has it been a few weeks now? How many weeks has it been?
I think technically we're in week 9, but we started off week 4. So
Okay.
it's been about 5 weeks, yeah.
How's that been for you?
It's quite scary in terms of the fact, because we hadn't been in education for about 6 months now, after the A-level exams got cancelled. So it was quite scary to be thrown in sort of the deep end. It is quite a lot of lectures to begin with, and we have like histology sessions. We were really upset when dissections weren't going ahead, because for dentistry, face-to-face contact is it's something you look forward to, and then now they are going ahead, so we are quite excited about that.
Yeah.
But in terms of the content, it's quite a lot. But if you're coming straight from A-level, which I think most people will be now, it's not as bad, but it's just scary for us because we weren't in education for such a long time. So adapting back to, getting up really early, doing the work, making sure that you revise, keeping up to date with all your lectures. So that's probably the main part now.
Okay, so what sort of content are you having to look at in these first few weeks?
So we've got basic like human anatomy that we're doing now. We've had a few like dental based lectures, so that's our oral cavity theme, and we've got histology sessions. They're quite fun. So we have like slides of different cells, different tissues that we look through, and then we get put into like breakout rooms so we can discuss them with our fellow students.
Yeah.
And then dissection wise, we get given a cadaver that there's 4 groups, but we all work on a cadaver one at a time. So we'll sort of start off the dissection, and the group after us will carry it on and so forth.
Okay. And what's everyone in your cohort excited about? What's exciting at this point?
I think for us, it's mainly getting into clinics, because that's the one place a lot of us haven't been to yet. We did have intro to clinics, but then after like going into tier 3, I think most of them were closed off because the older students need a lot more experience than we do as they are about to graduate, which is understandable. But we think we're carrying on with our virtual reality, which is again quite exciting. So I think I've got my session not next week, but the week after.
All right, fantastic. And I mean, now that you're in dental school, I know it's still early days, but what does dentistry mean to you?
I think it's about making a difference in someone's life, because that's what it meant to me when I was applying.
Yeah.
And it's about seeing, it's literally about making people smile. That's your job.
Yeah.
To see that smile come out of someone's face. And I think even during my work experience, a lot of what I saw was someone would come in, either have a painful tooth. I saw a bit of composite work as well, and everyone would leave happier than when they came in.
Yeah.
So I think that's the main part of dentistry.
Fantastic. And you said that you recently saw the orthodontist that's doing your treatment. How was that meetup after now getting into dental school?
Oh, it was great. So I saw her before I went off to uni. So I told her about the whole going to dental school thing. And then I saw her quite recently. Obviously in terms of COVID, our appointment was quite short, so we could only speak a little bit about how dental school's going. And she actually did her orthodontic degree at Uni of Sheffield.
Wow.
So that was quite interesting as well, just to talk about how much work we're doing. But mainly I think her concern was that we're not going in as much. Which does make sense because of COVID. But I think once we get back into clinics, once everything's sorted out, it will be a lot more exciting in terms of that.
All right. No, fantastic. No, thank you, Punya, for sharing your dental journey and how your process has been starting at Sheffield as well. And look forward to seeing what you're going to be doing in the future. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, make sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications. And we're going to be having more videos that are going to be helping you with applying to dental school and knowing what dental school is like. And for dental students, actually just getting to see what everybody else's experience at other dental schools is like. So see you at the next one.
I'm hoping to apply to dentistry as a graduate, and today I entered the Dental Mentor MMI interview practice. I learned a lot more about the types of interview questions, how to portray myself at interview, and I also got a lot of helpful feedback on things I should change, things I should say and things I shouldn't say. So overall I found this experience very, very helpful.
It's really helped my confidence. Up until now I was really worried about the interviews. I didn't think I really knew how to do it and didn't think I'd do particularly well, but after today I have a lot more confidence in myself. I realised that actually I can do it and it is doable.
The workshop today really helped me a lot with the interview prep. They gave really constructive comments and very personalised comments as well, so I really enjoyed it.
If you're thinking about studying dentistry, whether you're in college or whether you're in a degree right now, I think just have a chat with them and they will help you from start to finish.